Okay, I'm back. So I'm hoping that me stopping the stream and then restarting it just now isn't going to cause any issues, but hey, at the very least, we hadn't started the game, so I don't need to worry about splicing this together. Anyways, as I was saying, I did make a normal version of this thumbnail, but after running a quick survey with a few of my friends, everybody preferred the meme thumbnail. So the meme thumbnail is what I went with. So hi, welcome to the Shark Stream. It's me, it's Gage. Let's try this again. We're playing Dear Esther today. Dear Esther is a game in a similar vein, though with maybe a little bit less interactivity, really, as another game that I've done a one-off before on, Gone Home, where these are games that are kind of derisively referred to as walking simulators, or at the very least they were derisively referred to as such for a while. These days, I want to say that, like, walking simulator is a little bit less of a derogatory phrase. Did the music just fucking stop? Yeah, it just fucking stopped. Okay, you know what? We're not even gonna worry about it. YouTube's fucking up. Whatever. We're getting all sorts of issues on this stream, and I haven't even been up for like 15 minutes. But basically what Dear Esther is it started out its life as a mod for Half-Life 2. And the entire thing about it is that you're a dude on an island, and the whole game is about basically unfolding the story of why you were there and what has happened to you. There are some elements in... There's multiple versions of the story that's told. Okay, we got the music back up. There's multiple versions of the story that's told over different playthroughs of the game. But generally, there are a few constant elements to it, most notably being a character named Esther. Each of the voiceovers generally starts with like a Dear Esther, or like the major voiceovers start with Dear Esther, and it's implied that like they're all like journal entries or letters addressed to this character. There are other characters who are mentioned from time to time. There are events which are similar, but generally aren't like always like the same. There's something having to do with a car, who was behind the wheel, what they were doing, what kind of state they were in. How intentional their actions were, things like that. And Dear Esther, again, Dear Esther was one of those games that, like, people kind of pointed to as just like, why is this X amount of money? All you do is walk around in it. And, like... I don't know, man. Like, why the fuck... Hold on. I'm gonna grab a book here real quick. I don't know, man. Why the fuck is this book, Gideon the Ninth, $27? All you do is read it. And, like, the kind of, the sort of people that, like, complain about this, they always like to be like, oh, why would you make this a video game? Why don't you just make it a book or a movie or blah, 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 blah. It's just like, because they wanted to make a fucking video game. Like, that's really it at the end of the day. That's the sort of stance that I take on it. If you have a story that you want to tell, and you want to tell it in the form of a video game, No matter the level of interaction that video game actually has, fucking make a video game. Just go for it. If you want to, just do that. Could Hideo Kojima just go make movies instead of video games? Sure, but Hideo Kojima doesn't want to make movies. Hideo Kojima wants to make video games. Like, fuck, you know? So, Dear Esther started off as a Half-Life 2 mod, and then later on got a release as a full game. And I want to say that the Landmark Edition, which is what we're going to be playing today, is specifically the console version. And I want to say that this particular developer would then go on to make the Amnesia game nobody likes. And also had some weird behind-the-scenes stuff where I think, like, there was one dude who was taking credit for, like, other members of his team's work. I don't know the specifics of it, but regardless. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a bit of walking. Just a little bit of walking around. So the whole thing takes place on an island. You have kind of a general goal, like a general sort of path forward. You'll find abandoned buildings. You'll explore caves. There's a beachfront at one point with some really cool sort of like visuals and setting and stuff like that. And just a bunch of different elements that like change. And we'll go ahead and talk about some of this stuff as we go through it. Just personally, on a very personal note, I really like Dear Esther. The thing about walking simulators and games like this, games that are more heavily narrative focused, is that they really do kind of help expand the scope of, like, what a video game can be. And, like, part of me knows how that sounds, but, like, what I mean is, like, I was playing Nier Automata today, right? Nier Automata, very fun game, very action-oriented, like, incredible story. But not everybody's going to be able to make a Nier Automata. Not everyone is going to have the funding and the, like, manpower to create a game like Nier Automata. Sometimes you need to settle on the Dear Esthers and make your game that way. Polben has gifted a sub. Thank you, Polben. Enjoy that sub, Riley. If you're here. I don't actually know. I don't know how the gift subs work. I think they just go to, like, a random follower, whether they're watching or not. Okay. We should go ahead and get started. I've technically been here for, like, 20 minutes, even though 10 of those minutes got fucked up and eaten by, technical issues. So, let's go ahead and get started. Hope there's no more technical issues, because, oof. The Chinese Rome. Watcher gets priority, then follower, then literally random people on Twitch. Alright. Curve Digital. It also has this really nice sort of like piano soundtrack. I don't remember if more instruments like are added at different points. I pretty much remember the piano pretty prominently. Okay, now the voiceover clips are kind of a big deal in this game. I want to go ahead. I'm gonna see what like the regular captions look like without large captions, because I had them on. I had large captions on earlier, and they were fucking huge. And I kind of want as much of my screen real estate to be taken up by like the environments, because the environments in this game are fucking beautiful. Like, again, this game started off as a mod for Half-Life 2. Generally speaking, there's really only so much that you can do with, like, a Half-Life 2 mod. Like, I'm not saying that you can't make a really good-looking Half-Life 2 mod. You absolutely can. But when they, like, really kind of got, like, a team and, like, environmental artists and designers and shit like that, like, shit go nuts. Controller. There really aren't a whole lot of controls in this game. You move, you look around, you zoom in on stuff. This game also has director's commentary, which is handled a lot like director's commentary in Valve games, where there's commentary points in the environment that you walk up to, click on, and they play a voice clip of one of the developers talking about some element of what you're seeing. We're going to be playing it without the director's commentary. So we're just going to go ahead and start from the beginning here.
Dear Esther, I've lost track of how long I've been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I've always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
By the way, this is the pace that we're going to be moving at during this game. Like, this is the extent. We don't have a sprint button. Flashlight turns on automatically. We get some weird noises. That's always fun. Got looks like the UK. Certain elements of this room will change on repeated playthroughs. What is it? What's this book? What's this book here? Can't read it. Looks like shit. Oh, we got some music. I don't have like a crouch or anything. All I can do is zoom in. Can sweetness and honesty find happiness together in a yogurt? In a yogurt? Yo, fuck this island. Let's go get some fucking gurt. Ugh, someone girded all over this wall. Okay, so from what I understand, I believe this should be the chemical makeup of ethanol. Which, depending on how our playthrough goes and what kind of story we get, may be relevant. Luminous paint. Glow-in-the-dark shit. I want someone to, like, mod this game to use, like, the engine for fucking, like, Xenoclash or something. Xenoclash is a weird game. So that's kind of our goal, that little radio tower off in the distance. That's where we're ultimately going to end up. That seems dangerous. Something that we're going to be trying to do is trying to, like, kind of keep our eyes on, like, the roads and the hills and cliffs ahead. Because sometimes you can spot figures off in the distance. Definitely would have hurt myself falling out on that. What if I just walked out into the ocean? I'll just walk out into the ocean. Fuck this place. I'm going to return to the sea. Return to crab. Gorgle.
Come back.
Oh, well, I'm back. What do we got here? Are you like lobster traps? No, well, maybe. Lobster. No Freedom of the Sea. Song of the Sea was a good movie. I like that. It's a beautiful film. Still haven't watched Wolfwalkers. Did watch Prometheus today as
At
part
night,
of my...
you
Oh,
can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
I want a version of this game where it's like Urianche speaking to me. In his cadence. And a lexicon. Fabric of life to unravel. Come on. I do like how, like, the sea and the sky seem to just, like, blend together in the distance. That's that good shit. That's that good coastal shit. Can I climb up here? Just like Skyrim horse it? Hold on. Nope.
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Last days. So our boy here, clearly not doing so hot. He's talking about these being his last days. Swoos. Hold on, let's see if can I just... Damn it. Let me break the boundary. Let me wug that hall. Wug hauling.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff path died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Gross. not simply an infection of the flesh. It's an infection of the heart. I have a parasite, you see. Speaking of parasites, I watched Prometheus today. Weird movie, Prometheus. I have complicated thoughts on it. Oh. Huh. Well, okay then. I have complicated thoughts on Prometheus. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not the worst movie that I've ever seen. It could do with a bit more clarity as to why certain events are happening the way that they are, which is generally fixed via the movie's deleted scenes.
They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance, that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
Not sure what makes you think they would do that. It's kind of a weird thing to think. Like, I kind of mentioned this in, like, the one-sentence review that I did. I'm not really in the habit of nitpicking, like, oh, why didn't this character clearly make the perfect logical decision in this extremely stressful moment? But, like, there are definitely moments in that movie where you're wondering why a character did something, and it kind of takes you out of it. That being said, I will never forgive that movie for robbing us of Guillermo del Toro's At the Mountains of Madness.
Dear Esther, I met Paul.
Yeah.
I made my own little pilgrimage.
Yeah.
My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Is Wolverhampton a real place? That sounds fake. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Wolverhampton. Oh, hey, it is. How about that? Hey, there's a boat over there. Boat. Hey, Lucas. Welcome to the Shark Stream. Good to have you. Good to have you. This way? Just like go upstream. Nice rock. What's that noise? Whatever. Oh, it's a post. It's just a little post boy. This is an invisible wall. What the fuck? Whatever. Let's get out of the water. I'm already dying. I might as well, you know, not die of trench foot.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up.
What the fuck does that mean?
To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish.
Is it?
The sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer. that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
Damn, that sounds like a pretty good deal, actually. Why aren't we doing that? A bibble! The bibble. Let's just get up here and just grumble. Let's just mumble. Fucking. Come on! Fuck! Never mind. I don't even want to go up there. Fuck. What's over here? Is this anything? I'm assuming that cave I saw back there is probably progression, but I want to take a look over here first. Wow, 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 wow. Pretty much every button just zooms in. Like, I'm pressing all of them. Look, left trigger, right bumper, left bumper. I don't want to go down there. Can I just... Very carefully. Oop. Fuck that cave, I guess.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Fucked up, man. Boats! Ah, shit, let's go check out the boats. Blinking yellow light. I want to see the boats. I want to go check out the boats. Boat time, boat time, boat time, boat time, boat time, boat time. Fuck your paths. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, bitch. I have way too much energy for a game like this. Yeah, it's fucking trash on the ground. Yo, these boats got fucked up. Well, fuck these boats up. Must have been Cthulhu. Yeah, my money's on Cthulhu. Can I not go on the boat? I go on boat, please? Let me go on boat challenge? Hashtag? I guess we're going over here. Boats are too powerful. Fuck, you're so right. Get it. Nope. Boat.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Huh? And neither did he eat nor drink. Someone girded all over the side of this boat. How do they get over there to gird on it? Like it or not, this is the verb that I have chosen to explain to describe somebody painting words in this game.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital.
Yeah?
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Dude, you pissed out an island? That must have hurt. Say nothing of the lady of Esther, who apparently got hit by a fucking drunk driver. I forgot that they mentioned that they basically just kind of like say that just outright this early on. Rendered opaque by the car of a drunk is a strong line, though, honestly. I think here is where sometimes, like, a mysterious silhouette will appear. In fact, I think I see it.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around
that like
the
a
area
dude?
and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Yeah, okay, man. Hello? Anyone in here? Alright, we're gonna go head up towards this house. I think that's a person. Reasonably certain. Excuse me, sir. I like this game being like, oh yeah, the water's polluted, the grass sucks, that's why there's no animals here.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Just came to say hi. Well, hello, Lucas. But I'll be lurking. Alright, well, you enjoy your lurk. That weird ghost person just went into that house. Let's see if we can follow them. I can't believe that entire passage was just talking about this dude Donnelly and how much everyone thought he sucked. That entire passage was like, yeah, the first shepherd was this dude named Donnelly. Nobody liked him. Everybody thought he was a fucking idiot. What's this? Somebody girded violently on this wall, and I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. Some kind of flower? It seems like it's floating, like, just over, like, the wall texture. Like, it's not actually on it. Like, look, you can see that it shifts slightly as we move and, like, turn our camera. I suppose that's more of a thing that's just for, like, practical purposes, because, again, stuff like this are some of the things that, like, change occasionally.
3 cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Okay, so this is one of those things that can pop up every so often. And I was actually wondering if we were going to see this. This is obviously an ultrasound. An ultrasound of a child. And that's not one of those things that shows up particularly often. Now, we already know that he is writing these letters, these entries, to a woman named Esther, who is evidently dead, killed by a drunk driver. And these are intended to imply she was pregnant at the time. Probably with his kid, based on the familiarity that he has talking about her. Also, he was just talking about how he was, like, staying here, so that's why there's, like, all this stuff. But yeah, it's rough shit. Ah, fuck, bird. Shut up. Huh? What is that? Can I get over there? I don't think I can. Well, we're gonna try and descend here a little bit. Oh, it's a person. Oh, there they go. Alright. We got 2 ghosts. Our ghost count is up to 2. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Ghost count. Two. All right. That just weird shines, or is there stuff on those rocks? Can't actually tell. The colors in some of these early areas are pretty drab, but, like, overall, this is still pretty nice to look at. Like, I think this is gorgeous, personally.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed. The
Yeah?
result of some birth defect, or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Yeah, this Jakobsen guy. Nobody wanted to fuck him. He had a weird fucking rib cage. They sent him off to this island. They're just like, hey, maybe you go on this island, make your life as a shepherd, you'll find a wife. You know what we found? Goat disease. This just fucking... Wow, Jakobsen sucks.
They found Jakobsen in early spring.
Yeah?
The fall had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Jakobsen sucked so much that his goats were doing better after he died, apparently. And they're just like, ugh! Just threw him down a fucking shaft. Dear Esther, the fuck Jakobsen edition. Boat skeleton. Skeleton boat. Hello, I am back from someone else's stream. Welcome back, Designer Gaze. What did I miss? Lots of talking. It has been revealed that the character Esther that all of these entries are being written to was killed by a drunk driver. We have found evidence that she might have been pregnant at the time. And we have started talking about this shepherd from like the 1700s named Jakobsen, who it sounds like really kind of sucked as a person just in general. And so far we've had nothing good to say about him. So that's about where we are. I think we're currently in the middle of the second chapter of the game, which I believe is The Bay. As you can see here, The Bay. I think part of the reason that I like environments like this, like these rocky sort of like... Have you encountered Dante yet? Not yet. We've seen 2 ghosts. Our ghost count is up to 2. But I think part of the reason that I like environments like this is I grew up in Massachusetts, and when you live in Massachusetts and like, you know, your family, or when you live in like New England and like your family doesn't want to spend like a huge amount of money on like, you know, a vacation, getting out of the house, going somewhere nice. A lot of times like you'll go up to Maine, or in my case, my family would go to Cape Cod a lot. Cape Cod, if you've ever seen Massachusetts, it kind of looks like a hand giving like a come hither motion. It's like a curled finger. The curled finger on the front of Massachusetts is Cape Cod. A lot of sort of like big fishing industry along Cape Cod. At the very tip of it is Provincetown, P-Town. Big gay community, from what I understand. No wonder how your parents named you after a character from Stephen King. My dad was a huge Stephen King fan. So, like, it makes sense. But yeah, I remember we would go to Cape Cod a lot, and there were like these 3 hotels in particular that we would always stay at, and we'd go down to the beach. Waters in Cape Cod, absolutely fucking
caves,
freezing.
I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Love the soundtrack getting fucking weird while he's talking about his fucked up leg. And also his piss stones again. I don't know why he keeps talking about the piss stones. Gross. Stop talking about your piss. What do we got over here? Clothing. Kidney stones. Yeah. He was talking earlier about how he had kidney stones, and Esther visited him in the hospital, and now he has like a kidney stone the size of an island, and he's gonna piss it out or something. I don't know. I'm making fun of this game a little bit. Just because it's my stream, I can make fun of the game if I want. And I like this game. So you see, you need to understand, me making fun of this game does not come from like a mean-spirited place. It comes from the fact that I really like this game, and I really like the story. So I guess these rocks did just kind of have like a shiny element on them as opposed to like writing. If I'm looking at it now, they're like glistening with water. When you get weird cave noises, I want some weird cave noises. Give them to me. What's that candle? Who lit that? Who put this candle here? Hey! Hey, who put this here? This is a fire hazard. I know we're in a cave of stone and everything's wet and thus not conducive to catching fire. But don't leave candles like this. Some guy back in 2014. Walking Simulator is not a real game. Wah. I love a good walking simulator, honestly. Pack the car and have it yada. Oh shit! Oof. Gone Home is great, legit great. I love Gone Home, honestly.
Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
I don't know if you're going to get a whole lot of correspondence from wet rocks, man. They're not particularly good conversationalists. This area is beautiful. This is the area that I used for, like, look. Whoop. See? I use this area for the thumbnail because it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Hey, who put this candle here? For supper, I want a potty platter. Got a lot of phosphorescent little fuzzballs. Someone girded on this wall over here, and that one. This one. They just throwing up all over this place. Ooh! Glowy mush! Oh, that's nice. I'm kind of regretting not going to that cave earlier in the game. I think there was cool stuff in there, if I remember right. What's this way? Ooh. Hello. I have your stream on my phone, and I have another not safe for work art stream on another, all while applying for a job internship. Wow, you're really multitasking there, huh? Look at this. I love, like, the green glow of it all. Love green. It's good color. Top tier. Alright, you have a good one, Designer Gaze. Let's crawl back through here real quick. Continue onward. Who put this candle here? Who's doing that?
I first saw him sat by the side of the road. I was waiting for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
I think some of these are supposed to be like synapses. We've got... Okay, so that's why the chemical symbol for ethanol was important, because of the drunk driver. I want to say these are like designs and like schematics for like internal combustion engine, because car. Brain cells, synapses, you know how it goes. Internal combustion engine, more like eternal combustion engine. Always exploding. Eternal combustion engine sounds like a Mad Max thing. I'll just swoosh in here real quick. Oh, there's 3 candles. Just swoosh back out. Swoosh. Swoosh? Swoosh. Swoosh. Alright, I guess we gotta drop into that pool over here. Cannonball! Oh, I gotta get out of here. Oh, I gotta get out of here. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, I'm sinking. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. And I'm sinking again. Whoop. Let's make our way up here. Making my way downtown. Walking fast. Faces pass. And I'm homebound. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So we've got a few people at play here. There's the narrator, of course. There's Paul, who is evidently the dude who is responsible for it sounds like he's the drunk guy who's responsible for Esther's death. Donnelly, who was previously on this, who was the last person to be on this island and who wrote the book that the narrator mentions that he stole from the library so that it could guide him on the island. And then there's Jakobsen, who is just an absolute shit tier man of a shepherd, who was here like hundreds of years ago and sucked and was just overall just the worst. Terrible person. His rib cage was awful. Fucking fail rib cage for this cringe shepherd. Ooh. Oh, I'm just right back here. Okay, well, I guess I just go along there. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Oh, hey. Who's putting candles down? Gert. Here, Gert, everywhere. There, Gert, everywhere, Gert. How's this one red? It's blood. That's what I stabbed. Bashed with a rock. This is one moist hole.
I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones.
Nasty.
I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Tell me about your piss stones some more. Are they still huge? Let me go over here, see if this is anything. Like a sideways mush. Ooh, crystals. I lick the crystal. I obtain nirvana. Lick crystal. Trip balls. Naturally occurring methamphetamines. Don't do drugs, kids. So there did end up being more instruments than just the piano. I guess there really wasn't any sort of reason to go over the bridge. It looks like it all just leads over here. More crystal. Those look sharp. Internal combustion engine, I think. Huh? Yeah. Boats. Okay, well, evidently that's not where I go. It's kind of squiggly. Maybe like a jellyfish. Apartment complex. I find it quite simple, actually. Oh, okay. What crystals over there? I don't think there's anything interesting over there, though. Alright. Up and out. Been a hot minute since we've seen a ghost. I want to see another ghost. Give me the ghost. Give me the ghost. Give me the ghost. I'm upset. So I haven't gotten a chance to see the new Spider-Man movie yet. And there is a Twitter news story today that completely spoiled an element for me that I was looking forward to seeing without any sort of, like, prior knowledge that it was happening. Like, I had a feeling it was going to happen, but it would have been cooler to have actually seen it happen. Like, without, like, having it 100% confirmed. I do still want to see... Ooh. Huh. I do still want to see it. But, like, I don't know. It's a bit of a bummer. It would have been cool to see it, to see that happen without the prior context.
To me, from the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
The fuck are you talking about, my guy? What's up? Behold, Damascus is taken. Huh. I'm gonna be honest. I think this guy is maybe a little less than stable. Call it a hunch. Away from being a city? It shall be a ruinous heap? The hell is this stuff? Are these still stalactites? These like some weird algae. Some kind of giant paramecium. I don't know where I'm going. I don't think this is where I'm supposed to go. I think I was supposed to go into that pool. But who can say? Let's see if we can just... Whoa! Whoa! Head out on the highway. Alright. Ah, hospital bed. Like where I had all those kidney stones. Why are there coins all over it? That's weird. Oh, there's coins all over the road. Is it because we're at the bottom of a pool? Have people been, like, flicking quarters in here? This is a weird thing to find underwater. This isn't usually where you find, like, major roadways. Oh. I've lost consciousness. Ugh. Oh, God. I gotta get out of here. This place is weird. I think I can see the exit. Let's just get up these rocks. Fucking... Come on. Come on. Come on. What kind of achievements does this game have, anyway? Now that I'm thinking about it. Is anyone looking for group in Dear Esther? Multiplayer. Start finding people to play with. Let's create a post. No. I'm gonna do that. 5,000 steps, finish chapter, the beacon, the caves, the buoy. Die from falling off a cliff once. Drown once. Trigger all voice points. Trigger all director's commentary. Uncover 4 urns? It says collectibles? What? Okay, hold on. We've only been playing for a little bit more than an hour. If I finish this within the next half an hour, we're doing another run and I'm finding all the urns. The story changes every time you play it. It's fine. You telling me there's collectibles in this game? Fuck off. Here's a tent. Pile of fucking clothes.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
My guy, what the fuck are you talking about? I want one of those Breaking Bad memes where it's Jesse and Walt in the fucking restaurant, and Jesse's just saying, like, voice lines from Dear Esther, and Walt's just like, Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? I think that would be funny. Whoop.
Come back.
I'm awake. if I finish it in the next half hour, I'm gonna find all the urns. That's nonsense. If I finish this, like, within the next hour, I'm gonna go back and find all the urns, and I know I'm gonna finish it within the next hour. So we'll play through the game twice. Who cares? I don't care. I said I was gonna play Dear Esther this stream. Fuck, I'm gonna play the shit out of Dear Esther this stream. You kidding me? What's up here? What's this? Girding by candlelight. How romantic. Oh! Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Ghost count 3. That's pretty much one of the ones that's guaranteed, is that guy up there. He stays there for a while too, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think you can get, like, all the way up to him, and then he just straight up disappears. What do we got here? We got some photographs of car accident.
Of fire and soil, I chose fire. It seemed the more contemporary of the options, the more sanitary. I could not bear the thought of the reassembly of such a ruin. Stitching arm to shoulder and femur to hip, charting a line of thread like traffic stilled on a motorway, making it all acceptable for tearful aunts and traumatized uncles flown in specially for the occasion. Reduce to ash, mix with water, make a phosphorescent paint for these rocks and ceilings.
I'm sorry, what? Are you trying to tell me that all this paint you've been girding all over the place is mixed with Esther's fucking ash? Her ashters? What we got over here? We got a medical equipment? Or like a Commodore 64. Forceps. Only 4 of them? Oh, this is the paddles. What's it called? Crash cart, whatever. I forget what they're fucking called. Nobody tell me. Let me wallow in my own ignorance. Hey man, how's it going? Defibrillator! That's what it is! Fuck! Alright, we're good. We're good. I figured it out. Huh? Yeah. I think this is just heading back the way that I just came. I think this is just like an alternate way we can go. Let's continue forward. We gotta get up to that fucking beacon. Then we gotta go find all those urns once we're done. I'm gonna look up a guide for that. Fuck if I'm gonna be playing... Like, if I had known about that before I started playing this, then maybe I would have, like, just made an attempt to, like, explore as much as possible and then continue onward. But, like, if I'm going to be, like, doing, like, 2 whole-ass playthroughs of this, I'm gonna fucking use a guide to find the urns. What's this? Is that Esther? Probably. Maybe we'll get to see how some of the, like, dialogue changes and how some events are slightly different. If they are different. I forget exactly how different it tends to get. I want to say in some of them the narrator is the dude who's driving the car drunk and kills Esther. Car pieces. Car ingredients. What the fuck was that? Cando.
Hall by the roadside, by the exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly written boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
The fuck are you talking about? Oh, hold on. There's a thing on this fucking cliff face. The hell did you write now? Light from heaven shone around him. Bro, have you ever considered if, like, the people that are, like, retracing your fucking steps maybe don't read the fucking Bible? Only people with the proper Christian upbringing are going to be able to experience my fucking spiral into madness.
I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
My dude really sat here and made 21 little paper boats. King shit. Alright. Here's this thing. Let's go check that out. That ghost is probably still up there. We'll see him again, I'm sure. Hello? Egg! Egg. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. I don't know what he's talking about. Seems kind of nuts. Seems kind of crazy. I genuinely have, like, way too much energy for a game like this. For the love of God, put an M16 in this man's hand and let me do sick combos off the gulls or some shit. I don't know. What is that floating there? That's supposed to be like a tree or a bush or something, but like not all of it's loaded in. This is just really making me want to play Half-Life 2.
Sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path.
I haven't gone blind.
I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers.
Gross.
Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. That sounds less like you've become lucid and more like you're fucked up on painkillers. I'm just saying. I wonder how close we can get to this guy. I remember, so in the Half-Life 2 mod, the ghosts were there as well, but they were just like weird, like untextured, like NPCs from Half-Life 2. And I do remember playing once and just walking like straight up right up to one of them and just staring at it. And again, it was just like an untextured person from Half-Life 2. I don't think I can get up to this guy. I don't think it'll let me walk up to him. But fuck, he sure is there, isn't he? Bye, ghost. Goodbye, ghost. Let's see what happens if we come around this side, if he's still there.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Yeah, you're definitely fucked up on painkillers. The ghost is gone. Fucking coward ghost. Alright, let's keep heading up towards the beacon. We're making good time for me to justify playing through this again. I want to find those urns now. I want to get that achievement. I like getting achievements. The sound gives me serotonin. Some of my favorite achievements are the ones I don't even realize that I'm working towards, and then I just get them randomly. Like that one early on, it was like, oh, you walked 5,000 steps. Just like, fuck, have I played this game that much? Oh, we got the crazy choir. This is the sort of music that plays when someone's fucking losing it. Oh, everything's gone purple!
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
My guy, you are not doing well. I don't know if I'd ever want to become an STD, I'm gonna be real with you. That sounds like it sucks. Okay, things are less purple now. Ah! Whitmer is raiding with a party of 7! JB will have to be put to sleep. Why are we putting JB to sleep? Where's JB? Now I need to ask them.
Bent back like a nail,
Ah!
like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight, I will take flight.
My guy, I don't know if you're gonna take flight, but you're definitely high up there. But hello, Raiders. Welcome to the Shark Stream. I hope you're doing well. We're playing Dear Esther, and I'm probably going to end up playing it again because I found out this game has collectibles, and now I'm just like, ooh! I've played this game multiple times, and I never knew it had collectibles, so now I'm just like, well, gonna play it again on stream. Gonna get all the collectibles. Danger. Unauthorized personnel keep out. Ooh, I'm unauthorized. If unauthorized means fucked up on painkillers, you can call me Johnny Sal. I don't fucking know. Where am I going with this? Oh, thank goodness there's a handrail. Don't ever call me Johnny Sal, by the way. More Bible verse. I can't read this, though. I'm too close. I'd back up to read it if I could, but, why is that coming through? Why is that weird, like... shuddering. Whatever. Almost
He
there.
was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea.
What?
He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
This guy is not okay. He's not doing well. He's not coping. Cope. Cope. Seethe. Mold. Cope. Damn, we're up here, huh? When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Sure you will, buddy. Sure you will.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
Whoop. Careful. I don't know if you should be trying to climb up a ladder when you are clearly just, like, completely faded on painkillers. Fucking zooted, for sure. Do a flip! I too like to break my leg, have it get infected and gangrenous, then climb up a radio tower, jump off, TF into a bird, and then fly away. It's a fun part of my day. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and look up where all these fucking urns are. Dear Esther, urns. Urn locations in Dear Esther Landmark Edition. Quick guide to finding all the urns in Dear Esther Landmark Edition. Picks are readily available. I literally walked past all of them from the looks of things. Okay. Alright, these aren't going to be particularly long credits, but that was Dear Esther. We're gonna play it again, because now I gotta find these urns. Also, there's areas in the game that, like, I kind of walked right past. Simply because, like, I forgot that, like, hey, this actually isn't the critical path. Special thanks to these folks. This kind of just makes me want to play Half-Life 2 again. Half-Life 2 is a good game. I really like the entire Half-Life series. I wonder how that non-VR mod for Half-Life Alyx is coming along. Are they going to release Half-Life Alyx on anything else? I remember there was someone that I was following on Twitter for a while that, like, somebody called VR headsets privilege goggles, like, as a bit, and, like, that's pretty funny, honestly, as far as bits go. Because it's just like, yeah, you generally have to be pretty loaded in order to, like, afford, like, the good shit for VR and have, like, a genuine, like, space and setup for VR. So I can find that funny. I think that's hilarious. I get behind that. And they got so upset about it, and I was watching them just, like, having a fucking meltdown over it. They probably weren't having a meltdown. I don't really remember the exact specifics of it, but I remember watching them just getting... Okay, I won't say they were having a meltdown. They were probably getting more upset about it than they probably should have. And I was just like, I don't want this energy anymore. And I just unfollowed them. It's just like, no, I'm sorry. Your vibes, disgusting. Okay, so I took a look at all the urn locations, and I think most of them are... Oh.
The gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me. When he first landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly, and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable classes that populate these Hebridean islands. 300 years later, even they have departed.
Departed. Hey, have you seen The Departed? Not a whole lot different in here from the looks of things. Music's maybe a little... Oh, shit! Christ! Fuck you! Dick. Got a lot of dirt in here. So already, like, our opening line is different from the last time we played it. And obviously that gull wasn't there the first time. Maybe we'll see more ghosts. I'd like to see more ghosts. But it seems like every single urn is basically along the critical path. So we shouldn't have any trouble finding them. Let's fall down here, just as a goof. Hebridean Island. Hebridean. Alright. I don't know what kind of effect this energy drink is having on me, but it's doing something.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time. Sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Why do you have sand on your lips? Are you eating sand? Dude, don't eat sand. Crabs poop in there. What's this? The golden ratio! Is that a motherfucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference? It's not, but it's funny to joke that it is. Peak comedy.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
He sounds a lot more manic in this, but hey! We have acknowledgement of the Gert! We're gonna Gert good tonight, folks! Why has yogurt become the running bit for this stream? It all comes full circle. Speaking of full circle, golden ratio. God. Is this the playthrough where we're gonna just get the absolutely just... Is he still unhinged from the end of the last playthrough? Are we just getting full fucked up on painkillers narrator? I hope so. Let's head up these stairs. Alright, what you got for me? So we hadn't gone down there before. So now we have. Wish I could have gone inside that lighthouse. Like, I know we went into, like... Lighthouses seem cool. I wish I lived in, like, lighthouse country. You know, like Massachusetts, where I lived for most of my life.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
Pretty consistent, Donnelly never explored the caves. That hasn't changed between our last playthrough and this one. In the next playthrough, we'll play as 9S. That's a joke. It doesn't actually happen. I just thought it'd be funny to say. Are we going to talk about the lines? What does somnambulist mean? Hold on, he said somnambulist gauze before, and I don't know what that means. Sleepwalking. Oh, well, fuck. Alright.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection. and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
That's the exact same line as last time. I feel like the white lines are pretty consistent in terms of, like, what they mean from playthrough to playthrough. That's one of those, like, constants for the most part, I'm pretty sure.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Bro, you stole a dude's bones? That's fucked up. People all the time just be stealing and, like, taking other people's remains
Dear
and
Esther,
then bragging about it. Oh.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage.
Oh, hey,
My
this is the same,
Damascus,
too.
A small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason, or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet.
His poor
Responsibility
bonnet.
had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
I feel like weird shit happens when you go into this cave. I remember going in here on previous playthroughs and
I
there's
find
just...
myself
Oh,
increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin.
who's the hermit?
We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone.
Ah, the piss stones are back.
In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her
stone?
shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Hello? No, that texture fucked up. No, nothing in here. Shut up. You fuck off. Is that anything? No, it's nothing. Da, 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 da. Wow. 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 Grace. Grace.
I've become convinced I'm not alone here,
Oh, yeah?
even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
So I was placing the candles the whole time. Ugh. It all makes sense, except doesn't. Oh, no. I suppose it does. Okay, it said the first urn was around here somewhere. Let's see if we can't track it down. Oh, hey. Another book. Chemistry. Public book CD? Chemistry and a Bible. A bip. Earn. Okay, where is it? What's this? Nothing. It's a weird texture. Okay, let's consult the guide I found here real quick. Nope, that's still somnambulism. Okay. Should be against a more horizontal rock on the ground. We could tell you what the Grecians earned. Kind of facing away, it looked like, from the center of this whole setup. Ah, here we go. Oh. I guess that means I collected it. Alright. Ding. We got one. We're doing fantastic. Trying to keep an eye out for ghosts. Don't fuck with me, ghosts. I'm wondering if I should, like... We're bound to see ghosts we've already seen at least once, right? And I'm wondering if I should add them to the ghost count. Like, part of me is just like, I might as well. It's like a full tally of ghosts encountered. Woobo. I think this is where he breaks his leg.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times.
Oh, this is exactly the same too.
But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence.
You'd think.
It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Sucks. That's really sucks, bro. Let's go. I have a reasonably good idea where most of these areas that are supposed to have the urns are. So I should be able to find them without too much trouble. We're not going to bother going back down to the boat. I don't care about the boat. Fuck the boat. Was Common in Wanted? I feel like Common was in Wanted. Hold on. For the record, the way that I arrived at that question is that I said fuck the boat, and then I remembered the line fuck the code from the movie Wanted, which I feel like a lot of people attribute to Morgan Freeman's character, but I think it's said by the character who I'm pretty sure is played by Common. Common's in Wanted. I knew it. I'm so fucking smart. It's the boat that was carrying the Gert. All the Gert washed out to sea. There's that blinking yellow light again. Oh, this chapter is called The Buoy, isn't it? That must be the titular buoy. Titular. Titular. Anyway. Been a hot minute since we got a... Oh,
An
yep.
imagined answer phone message. The tires are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
The fuck does that mean? Did I go the wrong way? Hold on. Thought I was going the right way. Do I have to go down to the boat? I have to go down to the boat. Okay. Here to tell you what the Grecians earned. Again, it's not bad that we went that way, even though we have to go down to the boat. Because that was an area that I didn't check out in the first playthrough on this stream. Gotta get up this hill. Got a broken leg. It's infected. Infected with the funk. Alright, I'm trying to remember where I entered this area from. I think it was up through there. I thought I saw a ghost. It wasn't a ghost. It was a box. Must be my imagination. I had this idea the other day, I think while I was watching AVP.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital.
Again with the piss stones.
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
I don't know why you keep talking about your piss stones, my guy. It's really weird. Please stop talking about your piss stones in the same breath as talking about your dead lover. Hello,
Was this what
hello,
Paul saw
hello.
through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Cannonball!
Come back.
Alright. Oh, hey, I'm over here now. Dope. How far into the level do we have to get for this? I don't think we've gotten this far into it yet. Yeah, no, we definitely haven't gotten that far into it. Looks like the ghost is back over here. I'm still debating whether or not to count,
I've begun to climb,
Oh.
away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Okay. Still not sure whether I want to count that ghost again. It is the same ghost that we saw on the last playthrough.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s.
And now we're gonna just
By then,
shit on
shepherding
Jakobsen again.
had formalized into a career.
Let's go.
The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians.
Ooh,
He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders.
You know what? Fuck it. Ghost count 4.
He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it.
What a fucking
There's no one
idiot.
to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Who catches a disease from goats? Idiot.
My heart is
Those are
landful.
back.
These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for
Fuck
me is
you.
this Hebridean music.
Oh, that guy is back too. Ghost count 5. I'm counting repeats. We're counting repeats. Okay, down here should be where the next urn is for this chapter. It says where the water pools near the rocks. I'm gonna double check the screenshot that I saw on here. Okay. There's the cave we're gonna go in. Should be over there somewhere. So far, he hasn't talked about breaking his
He left
leg.
his body to the medical school and was duly opened out for a crowd of students 21 days after his passing. The report is included in my edition of his book. The syphilis had torn through his guts like a drunk driver, scrambling his organs like eggs on a plate.
Nasty.
But enough definition remained for a cursory examination, and, as I suspected, they found clear evidence of kidney stones.
What?
He's likely to have spent the last years of his life in considerable pain. Perhaps this is the root of his laudanum habit. Although its use makes him an unreliable witness, I find myself increasingly drawn into his orbit.
Stop talking about the piss stones. And increasingly drawn into his orbit, are you telling me that you also got fucked up on laudanum? Is that why you're a little bit more unhinged in this one? Okay, it should be down here. Ah, I see it. Collectible. Whoosh. Is that a fucking traffic cone? How'd a fucking traffic cone get out here? There aren't even any cars. The fuck? We gotta get out of here. This place is getting too weird. And these rocks are too polygonal for my liking. Too many sharp edges. Pointy corners. Quick, to the boat bones. Boat skeleton. Skeleboat. Skeleton boat. Da na 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 skeleton boat. I never saw Skeleton Warriors, but like after all the jokes that the best friends made about Skeleton Warriors, I watched the opening, and the opening theme kind of fucks, admittedly. This could not have been the boat carrying the Gert. Look at it. It doesn't even have a hull. How could it carry any Gert when it doesn't even have a hull? Shameful display. Ah, the crazy music. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I was talking about something earlier. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was watching AVP the other day, and I had this idea of just like, hey, what if there was like a horror movie where like every single like tense moment and jump scare was a fake out, and then in like the last 5 minutes a monster shows up and kills the main cast. I think that would be funny. I don't know if you can make like a whole movie sustained on that idea, but like I feel like you could do like maybe a short film. Call it Must Have Been the Wind. Nothing is impossible. I'm just saying, I feel like it would be really hard to sustain like not even necessarily like 90 minutes, like even like an hour 10, you know? Like, I don't even know that you could sustain, like, a straight-to-DVD movie on that. I feel like it would have to be, like, 30 minutes max. Although, if you make it 30 minutes, you probably wouldn't want to make the final, like, slaughter, like, just a 5-minute affair. Because that's, like... Fuck, that's like a sixth of the total runtime. You would probably need to shorten it down to just like a minute or 2. Maybe 3 if you really want to push it. There's one of those candles that I apparently put. I guess. I suppose I'm responsible for that. Moist hole. Oh, fuck!
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. I can hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
So, this is a piece of dialogue we didn't get in our first playthrough. That is like... You might have noticed it. We had the flashlight for a couple of parts in, like, the first 2 chapters. But then we just stopped using it once we got here. And the reason for that is because it's broken by the fall. He just didn't really mention it. The moist hole calls for us all. Nobody can resist the call of a moist hole.
They'd stop the traffic back as far as the Sanford Junction and come up the hard shoulder like radio signals from another star. It took 21 minutes for them to arrive. I watched Paul time it to the second on his watch.
So, wait, you were already there? He was already there in this one. In the last one, he was talking about how he had shown up there and was waiting for them to, like, cut her out of the wreckage. But in this one, it sounds like he's trying to say that he was already at the scene of the accident. Interesting. That's a different little twist. Cannonball! Ooh. Alright. I'm glad we haven't had any major, like, technical issues since, like, the start of the stream. I was a little worried when I had to like stop and restart it, because that's usually like a death sentence. That usually means I'm going to have to drop it to 30 FPS. But so far, it has managed to remain stable ever since the restart. Stable-ish, at least. Like, I haven't dropped any frames, as far as I can tell, and it hasn't told me that I've, like, overloaded my encoder. This is just a very pretty game, honestly. I just really like this. Okay, I just need to... I wonder what happens if I fall down a second time. Do I just have to walk back up? I'm not going to try it, but, like, I wonder. Or does it take pity on me and just, like, put me back on this fucking ledge? There's the hole we came out of. Wasn't game maybe the source engine, right? It was, because it was originally a Half-Life 2 mod. I don't know if the Landmark edition was made with Source or not. I've never really looked into it myself. God, one of these days I gotta play Balan Wonderworld on stream. I was just thinking about that because friends of the Shark Stream Transparency. Oh, hold on.
Body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart.
Oh, so his leg did still
I
break.
Fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the Ariel shining to me through the rocks.
He's still getting fucked up on painkillers. He never mentioned breaking his leg in this one. I feel like I remember in the Half-Life 2 mod, the leg breaking is like an event that happens on screen. Like, there is a distinct place where you fall, there is, like, damage taken, and you continue onward, and that the implication is that was you breaking your leg. But it's really not quite as clear here. Anyways, here's the third urn. Or the thurn. Oh. Anyways, I was thinking about Balan Wonderworld because friends of the Shark Stream Transparency are going to be doing a video on Balan Wonderworld. They famously are actually fairly big fans of Balan Wonderworld, and friend of the stream JB actually got me a copy for the Xbox One because it was on sale. And I've been intending to stream it because I also picked up like the ebook that's supposed to actually explain like the story of what's happening. And I don't know. I'd like to experience it for my own dang self, you know? Yeah, you know. Gert. No, Gert. That kind of looks like a face. Like, from a certain angle. Looks like you gotta be like, I don't know. Cave's got, like, Hot Topic studs.
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
I didn't go in here before. Doesn't look like there's actually anything in here, though. Alright. Fuck. How do I get out of here? Can I get out of here? Oh, yeah, I can. No. No. There we go. Alright. Or speedrunning this shit. Oh, here's the crazy cave that I've girded all over. Are we gonna get more crazy music? A little bit. Seems everyone is indifferent to the game rather than outright hating it. Yeah, there was a lot of hate for it, like, really early on. I don't know if I'd say that people have calmed down on it. I think most people don't really look at it with, like, the highest opinion of it. It wasn't like the Quiet Man hate. I remember a lot of people didn't like the Quiet Man. What does that say? Oh! Oh, this is different. The game had a potential, but it was almost everything what's wrong with Square as a company. Oof. Yo, this car got fucked up. This car also fucked up. Maybe not as quite. We're on the highway to hell. Bam, bam. Alright, see you later, designer gaze. This looks kind of like an eyeball, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Like, it looks like an eye. Like, right... Like, just right here. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. I remember using screenshots of this game as, like, wallpapers for the longest time. I feel like it's been a while since we've gotten a voiceover clip. Why don't you throw another voiceover clip at us, you know, for old time's sake. Oh, God. Okay. Whew. Alright, I know where to go for this one. Yeah? Usually means we're gonna get something. So give me something.
The moon over
There
the
we go.
Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
Yeah, okay, man. I'm gonna just slide down here real quick. Because it's actually over here somewheres. Gotta read between the lines. Read between the lions.
I returned home with a pocket full of stolen ash.
What?
Half of it fell out of my coat and vanished into the car's upholstery, but the rest I carefully stowed away in a box I kept in a drawer by the side of my bed. It was never intended as a meaningful act, but over the years it became a kind of talisman. I'd sit still, quite still for hours, just holding the diminishing powder in my palm and noting its smoothness. In time, we will all be worn down into granules, washed into the sea and dispersed.
Dude, you stole your lover's ashes? You could have just asked to keep them. Oh hey, here's the final urn. We do. There it is. Ah! 2 year, discover 4 urns. And, oh, that's the fucking thumbnail. Ghost count, 6. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish the game. Let's just make a beeline to the ending. Is that a cave I've been in? I think so. Which one was the cave that had the Commodore 64 in it? I think it's this one over here. Or, no, it's that one up there has the Commodore 64. This one has the picture of Esther question mark. Isn't there also like a bunch of car parts over here? Or was there just that? I think that was there last time too. Yep, there she is, probably. Hard to say for sure, but might be. Or is it this one that had... No, this one had the car parts, that's right. So the one back there was the one with the Commodore 64. It's a defibrillator, but I'm calling it a Commodore 64 for comedic purposes.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Damn. So it really seems like the most that's changed in this one is that the narrator was with Esther at the time of the crash. Paul was still drunk.
From
Right,
here, I can see my armada.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I collected
We still
all the
dunked on
letters I'd ever
Jakobsen a
meant
little
to send
bit.
to you, if I'd have ever made it
Not
to
quite
the
as much in
mainland,
this
but
run.
had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic. And I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
I mean, some of those ended up in that cave that we saw in the first playthrough. Like, some of them are there. Once more, back up to the radio tower. Making our way downtown, walking fast, faces past and we're homebound. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Alright, well, I guess while we're making our way up between voice clips here, I do want to thank everybody for coming by the Shark Stream. I hope you all had a good time. Dear Esther is not exactly the most exciting game to watch,
When
but I hope...
Paul
Oh,
keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they resuscitated him by hitting him in the chest with stones gathered by the roadside. He was lifeless for 21 minutes. Certainly long enough for the oxygen levels in his brain to have decreased and caused hallucinations and delusions of transcendence.
oh.
I'm running out of painkillers, and the moon has become almost unbearably bright.
He's not quite as fond of the moon in this one, and it seems like Paul wasn't necessarily drunk, but actually died at the wheel for a little bit. Dear Esther isn't the most exciting game to watch, but I hope I've made it pretty entertaining, just with, like, I would say maybe slightly unhinged commentary. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe here on Twitch. We have special emotes at tiers 1, 2, and 3. You can also follow me on Twitter at @Sane_intolerant or on YouTube at youtube.com/SaneIntolerant, where I post all my streams after they happen. Upcoming streams. Tomorrow, we've got The Darkness 2. We're going to be finishing that off. We're going to be starting by continuing the Vendettas levels to their conclusion, and then playing the rest of the story mode. Next Wednesday, more Wind Waker. Don't know if we're going to be finishing it or not, but we're pretty close to the end outside of getting like 5 more pieces of the Triforce. And then from there, we just need to do the end game stuff. Next Thursday, I believe, if everything goes well, I believe JB is going to be joining us for Doom 3, and we're going to be doing...
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it.
Still talking about flying to the moon.
I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I believe we're going to have JB back on to do Doom 3. I don't know what we're going to do next Friday. Because we're still going to have one more week to kill before I start a new Friday playthrough.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Okay, man. We've gotten through Crazy Valley. Screaming Purple Valley. I'll probably find like another game to do a one-off of, I'm sure. I don't know if I've got any more like walking simulators that I could do. Maybe I could find something.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
You're gonna cut your leg off and throw it off the radio tower? How are you gonna climb back down? How will you fight me if you do not have a head?
Dredged these waters for the bones of the hermit, for the traces of Donnelly, for any sign of Jakobson's flock, for the empty bottle that would incriminate him. I have scoured this stretch of motorway 21 times, attempting to recreate his trajectory, the point when his heart stopped dead and all he saw was the moon over the Sanford Junction. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all, and it was not his fault. It was the converging lines that doomed him. This is not a recorded natural condition. The gulls do not fly so low over the motorway and cause him to swerve. The paint scored away from his car in lines like an infection, making directly for the heart.
So that's interesting. So in our first playthrough, Paul was drunk. The narrator wasn't actually in the car at the scene of the accident, and Paul was drunk, making it easy for the narrator to have someone to blame. In this one, Paul was not drunk. He was watching his intake, and he died. Straight up. His heart stopped at the wheel. which caused the crash, which he was in. Split his head open. They cremated her. He stole ashes from the funeral. This is what I'm talking about. Different playthroughs of this game, sometimes they can vary wildly in some of the details. Other times, it's almost identical. There have been voice lines in this playthrough that were word for word exactly what we got in the first playthrough, but it's just very so slightly different, and it changes, like, the scope of the narrative. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I'll probably find something to do. I've been thinking a lot. I think one playthrough that I want to do right now is I want to do a playthrough of, watching the AVP movies really got me thinking about the Rebellion AVP game for the 360. That is really good, actually. I really like that game. And it's one of the games that, like, honestly, I've wanted to play for years on stream. Like, when I started streaming again, it was one of the ones where, like, it was one of the first ones where I was thinking, like, oh, I really want to stream this game. I really want to play this on stream. I don't know if I want to get art for that. I think I've always sort of intended to get art for that. 7 ghosts! The final count. Hey, buddy. How's it hanging? This is probably the closest I've gotten to one of y'all, huh? Can I get up here? No?
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star.
Art for the stream was done by Cosmindart on Twitter, COSMINDART. His work is fantastic. Highly recommend checking his stuff out. And with that,
Dear Esther,
we're going to call it a stream.
I've burned the cliffs of Damascus. I've drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
I guess, like, final thought. I forget if I don't know. I don't think there's. Is he going to say anything else? I forget, actually. I suppose I should probably give final thoughts. I really like this game. Like, I know I've been, like, cracking jokes and stuff, like, this whole time. And, that's how I express, like, my enjoyment is, like, if I like something, I'm gonna crack jokes about it. I like to crack jokes about things I enjoy. So as I've said, don't think for a second that any of this is coming from, like, a place of bad faith. I love this game, and I love games like this because, as I said, like, when I started the stream, it's such a good indication of, like, what games can be. In that, as I said, not everything needs to be a Nier Automata. Not everything needs to have, like, 60 hours of action-packed gameplay. You don't always need skill trees or anything like that. Sometimes you can just have a nice walk across an island with a sad story read to you. And I think that's fine. I've seen games that have tried to do the Dear Esther thing that just haven't been quite as good, honestly. Mostly because a lot of times it seems like they're not really trying to necessarily go anywhere with their story. But Dear Esther's a good one.
Come back.
Mostly because I like how the story can change slightly from playthrough to playthrough, or sometimes be incredibly different playthrough to playthrough. And I like just the visuals of it, just like the environmental scope of the island, the caves, the cliff face leading up to the radio tower. Just, it's all good. Like, it's really good. But yeah. Dear Esther. It's an enjoyable experience. Just kind of overall. I would like to see more games like this, walking around very beautifully crafted environments. Just like, maybe just read me a little story. Read me a little story before bed. You know? Give me something to wind down with. Like, I've been fucking playing goddamn Nier Automata all day. I'm like well into Roots C and D. It's fucked up. So like, I don't mind having something to just kind of like, chill out and wind down with a little bit. Because some stressful shit, let me tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you next time on the Shark Stream. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Take care.